Pull up the board again. I saw a lot of guesses that 9 was Jackson Dart, which not a bad guess because of all the high point weeks. But the low weeks, mostly out of his hands, have actually sunk him from being number 9. Let's see if we get a couple more guesses in here. I saw Justin Herbert was said. Let's see. Yeah, Dart at 9, as you see from, of course, Cobra Kiger.
Dead to me.
A lot of Brissett guesses again. Stuntman Chuck said Cordell Stewart.
I mean, I like that one. Cordell Stewart, a better guess. Aloha Bricks. Lawrence is on the list. I love you, brother. But Ian Good A 4634.
Ian Good A 4633 was taken.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Ian, I'm not sure what your avatar is. What do we think that is?
Is that Matthew Berry? No, it's not.
No, it's not me. Too much hair.
I think that's Ian himself.
Adam Smith.
Ian in a suit?
Maybe
is that you in a suit, Ian?
Is that Dostoevsky?
Either way, Ian, you got it right. Congratulations. You were absolutely right. Jalen Hurts, widely drafted as a top 3 or 4 quarterback this year.
Right.
Sneaks into the top 10. He's number 9 on a points per game basis here, Connor. And I think the biggest issue here for him, the drop, was the lack of rushing.
By the way, Ian confirmed my avatar is Ian in a suit.
Okay.
So that is Ian in a suit. This is a disappointment, right? There's no way around it. And you bring up the lack of rushing, which he needs to have to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Where you drafted Jalen Hurts, Jay, you were left with disappointment. And then all of the odd dead weeks between him and A.J. Brown. Like, just so many just goose egg-ish level weeks between them, and that's going to hurt him then in the passing volume.
Yeah, they're definitely the worst vibes division winner coming off a Super Bowl championship in the history of football. It's strange because he has had really good games. Like, he was magnificent against the Vikings and Flores' defense, where he played basically a perfect game. And then he has complete meltdowns like he did against the Chargers in primetime, where he lost them that game single-handedly. So, very strange year for Jalen Hurts. I think the fact that A.J. Brown emerged over the second half of the season gives you a bit more optimism going into the playoffs at least. But we don't know what A.J. Brown's situation is going to be next year. Don't know why Hurts stopped running. If Jalen Hurts isn't going to run the ball on design QB rushes, he's just not nearly as much of a needle mover. And the tush push wasn't nearly as successful this year.
Well, it wasn't nearly successful. It feels like they didn't run it as much as well. To your point about that, just 26 yards per game. That was a career low in terms of his rushing this season. Less than 30% of his fantasy points this year came from rushing. And for the first time since 2021, he had under 35% of the Eagles' red zone and goal to go rushing attempts. Feels like they didn't do the tush push as much. It wasn't as effective. And I think there's a chance it's outlawed this offseason. There seems to be more and more momentum towards trying to outlaw that rule, and people talking online about how this isn't football. And not whatever, nerds like me, but people with influential voices within the NFL in terms of, former coaches, former all-star players,
It's not football to have, say, Aaron Rodgers with his hands in his pockets while Connor Hayward is, it's just not, that's not what I want to see.
The quarterback sneak is different from the tush push.
Yes.
That's the problem. It's evolved the quarterback sneak into a spam-level play. And listen, credit to the Eagles for unlocking this. Like, it worked for them for a long time, obviously part of their Super Bowl run. I have no qualms with them in this. It's just a matter of keeping the product as pristine as possible going forward.
The issue is if you get really good at it, then you're running it like twice in a row from 3rd and 2. And it's like, well, what are we doing here?
There's a player safety element that the league will push in this.
As well. No, I remember the playoff game last year, the NFC Championship between Washington and Philadelphia, where Frankie Louvu was just like, this ain't, and it was whatever, 7 offsides in a row or whatever it was. Like, it was just, it's just like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, as a Commanders fan, I was like, I like the effort, but come on. Like, what are we doing?
If Hurts is, and I want your projection, if Hurts is taken as a top 8 quarterback next year, I'd be entirely out. And it's not just him. It's that the Eagles' defense is so good. How many scripts is he in where it's like Jalen Hurts needs to throw 25 times this half and put up this crazy production? Do you think he'll be drafted as a top 8 quarterback?
I do. I'm going to have him somewhere in the QB 5 to 7 range as of right now, assuming tush push is legal. But yeah, I mean, I could see it. It's a little there's too thin a line because of the lack of rushing and because he's not a high volume passer and doesn't need to be. Like, there is a nervousness there about the fact that, like, he's a guy that doesn't have as much of a floor as you might think other mobile quarterbacks do. For whatever reason, he didn't run this year.
Yeah, it felt like the league figured out him and Bo Nix a little bit more this year because there's not a lot of sophistication in the throws and they just don't use the middle of the field that much. It's a lot of deep balls, go balls, and then shorter stuff. So yeah, we'll see.
Especially, by the way, there's also the rumor that A.J. Brown might be moving on. Now, I don't think the Eagles go into the season with only Devontae Smith and Jahan Dotson. You know, they'd replace A.J. Brown, but still, who they replace him with, I think, is also would be, part of the equation of evaluating Hurts next year. I do think he'll be drafted as a top 8 guy, certainly as a top 10 guy. But I also get people saying, I think I'm out this year.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com. And I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched. Or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.